So you want to stop overthinking because you know that you're overthinking about things that don't matter. You're overthinking and making things worse than they actually are, and thus you're constantly in your head and playing with your mind, and it's killing you from the inside out. And if that sounds relatable to you, in this video I will talk about how you can stop overthinking and actually getting control over your mind. Because it's one of those things that's very fundamental and very crucial if you are an individual that wants to prosper in life, if you are an individual that wants to execute upon their plans instead of being constantly in your mind. And thus, if you are someone that wants to see more videos like this, please consider to hit the subscribe button and leave a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. Anyways, with that said, let's jump into the video. Number 1, awareness. So the next time you're gonna start to overthink, the next time you're gonna start to think about things that don't really matter, it's very important to have personal awareness that at that moment you are overthinking. And the reason this is so important is that once people start to overthink, it's quite ironic that they stop to think that they are overthinking. Thus, this way they get themselves in a loop where they're constantly overthinking. And the way you can create this awareness is by instantly starting to step in. Every time you notice that you're about to overthink, every time you notice that you're talking about stuff that doesn't matter, instantly give yourself a reality check, because it's very important to be able to identify this issue if you are someone that wants to fix it. Number 2, problem solving, not overthinking. So if you are someone that wants to stop overthinking, it's very important that you change your cognitive thinking. Instead of being someone that's just thinking just for the sake of it, it's very important to shift your mindset towards being a problem solver. And this is a huge mindset shift, because this way you have more control over your mind. So the next time you're overthinking, ask yourself these questions. Am I overthinking about something that I've got control over? Or am I overthinking about something I don't have any control over? If you do have any control over the particular problem, start to think for the solutions and execute upon them. Don't think about too many solutions, but the best way to tackle this is to simply find one solution and go for it, even though it's not the best solution. Because at least this way, you get yourself out of the mindset of being someone that's overthinking, and you're actually executing upon your plan. And if it is something that's out of your control, if it is something that you can't control, in that instance, you just need to accept that some things are out of your control. There are external factors, externalities that you simply can't control, and that's just a part of life. And there's no point to overthink. There's no point to put so much energy into something if you can't change it. Number 3, take accountability. So a lot of times we don't challenge our own thoughts. And every time we feel like that we're getting ourselves into some sort of problem, every time that we feel like the worst of the worst outcome may be possible, we start to overthink, and this way we only look at the negativity. Well, it's also very important to actually challenge yourself. It's also very important to understand that if we're in such a vulnerable state, the emotions are playing a huge factor when it comes to our decisions and the way we are thinking. And that's very fundamental if you're someone that wants to get rid of overthinking. It's very fundamental if you're someone that wants to get things done. Because once you realize that your emotions are getting into your way, once you realize that your emotions are interfering between you and the success that you want, you'll be able to look for ways to control your emotions. You'll be able to tackle the problem as if you didn't have emotions. And the way you do that is by simply asking you this question. Say, for example, I was in the same situation, but I was a third-party individual. I was an external person that's looking at my life. I was myself, but without all of these overwhelming emotions. What would I do? What would have been the best choice that I could have taken or probably would have made? And then go for it. There's no point to overthink about all of the different scenarios. There's no point to introduce a lot of negativity. There's no point to constantly let your emotions overwhelm you. It's better to be accountable for all of the actions you're gonna take, and thus it's very important to challenge yourself. Number 4, change your environment. So if you are someone that's overthinking, sometimes we tend to overthink in the same areas. For example, just before going to bed, some individuals always have the same spot that they're overthinking, and thus if you are someone that wants to prevent this, try to change your environment. And hey, I'm not telling you to not sleep in your bed, but perhaps try to change the interior design of your bedroom, because this way you may be able to trick your brain a little bit that you've entered a new environment, which can minimize the overthinking. And obviously it's not always before going to bed. Sometimes some individuals start to overthink when they're simply thinking about a certain person, when they're thinking about a certain deadline that's coming up, or whatever it is. And thus, in those instances, it's not even the environment that makes them overthink, but it's more the topic. And thus, if you are someone that feels like you're overthinking because of a certain topic, very important to start to engage yourself in some sort of physical activity. Start to go for a walk, go to the gym, or anything else that will keep your mind occupied, because this way you can eliminate the overthinking and have more control over your mind. Number 5, train your brain. So when it comes to all of the previous points that I've mentioned, unfortunately these aren't quick hacks and quick tips that will instantly help you to stop overthinking and make your life amazing. You still got to put in the work. Follow every single one of these steps on a continuous basis and repeat it over and over again. And that's the art if you're someone that wants to become successful at something, or if you're someone that wants to get rid of some bad habit. You need to do it over and over again to rewire your brain to stop the overthinking. And thus, if you're someone that's serious about overthinking, follow all of the previous steps and actually retrain your brain. So if you got any tips yourself, please let them know in the comment section down below, and this way we can help each other out. And hey, if you are someone that's new to this channel and would love to see more videos like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button and leave a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate your time and hope to see you on my next video. Bye bye.